This is Lillian's mum. I'm bringing you the second video, and this one is about early intervention programs and the method I chose for my daughter Lillian in her program. Oops, just dropped my camera there. Okay, let's keep going. So, what are the features of early intervention programs? Well, basically they're going to have a time frame and goals that you want to reasonably achieve during the program, and they're going to be a combination of different services, specialist care and therapies, some behavior management methods, various tips and equipment. Now, included in that, there's a whole range of programs that aim to assist with autism symptoms. And the tips are things like, you can get these weighted blankets to help your children to settle at night time, going to sleep. So you've got to distinguish between what's needed for your child and what you can get by without. Anyway, they usually recommend a diet program, but they don't always. That's up to you. Now, early intervention programs, the information sources. Well, you can get information from state government health department, your GP, paediatrician, disability agencies, Autism Queensland, autism specialist intervention centres like AEIOU. AEIOU actually run an intervention program for children before age 5 to get them to go to school, and they have a centre which just does that. So if you can afford to do that, that's a good one too. You can get information off the internet, books, researchers, the Autism CRC. Just seek out and find as much information as you can to educate yourself about the condition and the needs for your child for intervention. So the method that I chose for Lillian was 20 hours per week structured activity for 2 years. Now, I read about this on the Department of Health website, where they have a list of recommended medical treatments for different conditions, and they have this as a recommended treatment, therapeutic treatment for children with autism, and it's listed as one of the most effective therapeutic programs known. So just by doing a structured program alone, you can make heaps of progress, and that was the one I chose for Lillian. Now, my decision was really because Lillian's symptoms were not that severe, so she wasn't totally non-verbal, and there wasn't, I wasn't completely without any hope for helping Lillian, and there was a lot of emphasis on her behaviour rather than worrying about other things like whether she was going to speak, for example. I convinced myself that that was okay after a short time. But anyway, so she had to get her executive function really addressed. So she was having a bit of confusion with just doing basic things, and that was something which I sort of focused on. And then I looked at the limitations, what my budget was, what the availability of the services were, and the logistics. So I couldn't do an ABA program, for example, because that was way out of my budget. And you have to do a lot of training yourself to run an ABA program, and you have to get a team of people. So you have to have a lot of money to do a really good ABA program. Sorry, that's applied behavior analysis. And anyway, and I also based my decision on my goals. So the goal was really just to get Lillian to develop her communication and concentration and to get ready for school. So that's really all I wanted to achieve, which we did. Now, Lillian's intervention also included, so it was a 20 hours per week of structured activity over 2 years, but then inside of that there was the daily and weekly structure of activities. Now, I also used positive parenting method, the triple P method of parenting Lillian, and for discipline as well. And then I have a method which I provided for Lillian to address and prevent anxiety and depression. And then we also made use of a GP and specialist, speech pathologist, occupational therapist and paediatrician. And we had lots and lots of interactions with other people. So there's lots of people that Lillian got to see regularly, and we made use of a lot of resources, library books, toy libraries, playgroups, everything. So heaps of books and toys and games and computers, programs and stuff at home that we got all the time as well. So she had heaps and heaps of resources and sources there. Now, in her program, I was so happy because Lillian was able to make this amazing improvement. Like I say, 400%. Okay, we all know that there's no such thing as 400%, but that's the only way to describe how amazing her transformation was. I mean, I was really so concerned that she was looking like she was a non-verbal child that was a little bit uncontrollable, so it was sort of very urgent to do the intervention. And then in a very short time, only 2 years, and she made this huge progress, and she just transformed into a beautiful, well-behaved, little girl. So I was so happy about that. So improvements in her concentration, overall behaviour, communication and language were just fantastic by the end, and her own management of her own behaviour was really good, and she was sort of much more cooperative. So she could sit down in with other children and share, and be patient with other people, listen, and so she was actually really ready for school by the end. So that was fantastic. So we achieved all our goals too. Well, I think that's about all the end of this presentation. Thanks. We'll see you next time. Bye.